Back, I'm Kelsey Fabian. Stephanie Gandulla from the Thunder Bay National Marine Sanctuary joins me this morning, and she is going to talk to us a little bit about the volunteer program you guys have there.
Yes, good morning, Kelsey.
Good morning, how are you?
I'm doing very well. Well, just this week on Tuesday evening, we celebrated our volunteers. We had our annual volunteer appreciation event, and over 40 volunteers gathered to have snacks and some wine and just to hang out with the staff. It's a good opportunity for us to interact with our many volunteers, and when it's a little bit of a downtime, usually we're running around very busy. The volunteers are helping out with all of our programs, so we don't get a chance to sit and chit chat and visit with them. So that was a lot of fun. And also part of the evening was awarding our Volunteer of the Year award. It's the Betty Kruger Volunteer of the Year, and this year Mr. Bob Feiner received the award.
And what do you look for in someone who's receiving the award?
Well, it's usually someone who spends a lot of time at the sanctuary. So not only do they give a lot of their time, which of course is precious to everyone, but they do a variety of different things. We've had many volunteers since the sanctuary was designated receive this award, and they have done everything from work in our boat builders building and work with field trips and work with students, work in the artifact conservation lab, help out with office administration tasks, help out with students, whatever age they might be, and so all sorts of different opportunities for volunteers.
And can anyone volunteer? Do you have to be a certain age?
You do have to be a certain age. The minimum age is 16. You can be younger than that if you have a parent or mentor escort you or be with you during your volunteer service.
And what kind of things do the volunteers do? I know you're saying they do all kinds of things, but be a little more specific.
Yes.
What are those things?
For sure. They do, one of the really cool things recently is help with these transcription projects. So they're taking historical records, ship logs, life-saving station logs, and transcribing them, putting them into very usable and accessible documents for students and scholars to use and access from around the world. So that's a very cool thing. Another great volunteer opportunity is to help out with our outreach aboard the Glass Bottom boat. And so volunteers can be a sanctuary representative on board and talk about the shipwrecks with the thousands of people that go out into Thunder Bay.
Being a volunteer sounds like you gain a lot of knowledge about the shipwrecks. That's really cool. So you're learning constantly while you're doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a great opportunity. I mean, of course, we couldn't do what we do without the volunteers with small staff, and we still are able to engage and create meaningful experiences for thousands of people. We totally could not do that without the hundreds of volunteers in the community. And so we benefit from it, and then the volunteers, I think they really benefit from it too.
Well, yeah, especially even if it's a student maybe looking to go to college, that's something great to put on, a college application or something.
Yes,
so
yes,
that's awesome.
absolutely.
And why are the volunteers so important to you guys? You said you couldn't do what you do without them, but how many volunteers do you have?
We have over 300 volunteers.
Oh, wow.
And the exciting number is that the number of hours that they actually put in a year, over 3,000 hours, and it's just climbing every year. So literally thousands and thousands of hours are put in by our volunteer corps, and so they help out. One thing I didn't mention is our big events, like our film festival. We had a lot of volunteers help with that. Maritime Festival on the 4th of July, that's a biggie that we couldn't do without. We had I think nearly 100 volunteers just for that event. And then two big events coming up next year, our regional ROV competition and the international ROV competition coming up next year.
Oh, wow.
We're going to definitely need hundreds of volunteers to pull off those events.
Now, I'm sure you spent a lot of time talking to the volunteers. What do you think their favorite part about volunteering is, or what have you heard from them?
Oh, that's a great question. I think what I've heard is they really enjoy being immersed in what the sanctuary is doing. I mean, I think they go home with a feeling of accomplishment that they've actually helped the community in creating these meaningful educational experiences for all sorts of people.
Do you get a lot of young, maybe high school kids who volunteer but then decide to pursue what you guys do at the sanctuary?
I think so. It's a great opportunity for exposure for students. And so they come in and they can actually see the work that we do firsthand, and then that really helps them make decisions about their future.
All right, well, thank you so much, Stephanie. And if someone wanted to volunteer, would they just stop in at the sanctuary?
Absolutely, that's one way. Stop in and see us at 500 West Fletcher, or you can give us a call at 989-356-8805, or of course go to our website, thunderbay.noaa.gov.
All right, well, thanks, Stephanie.